As editor-in-chief of Package Design magazine, I speak with some of the most brilliant thought leaders in the design, branding, and marketing of consumer packaged goods. Through the generous support of our sponsors, we bring these experiences to you. This video series explores what inspires these thought leaders and their insights on the collaborative design process as a strategic business competence. I'm Linda Casey, and this is Package Design Matters. So we're in sunny Florida with Craig Dubitsky, founder and CEO of Hello Products. Craig is a serial entrepreneur, and he has been on the ground floor or founded many ascending brands that became household names. Some of our audience might recognize EOS and Method. And Craig has just been a wonderful supporter of design, and he has used design to really ascend these brands to greatness. In fact, at our conference, Craig, you're moderating a panel on this very subject.
I think design is kind of everything. I think a lot of folks think of design just as form and color and texture, but I think of design as really just really about being thoughtful. It's not just about, what is the silhouette and things like that, or what does it feel like. That's all important, it's all part of it, but I think it's just about being hyper thoughtful about how people, I hate to use the word consumer, I use the word people, how people interact with their things. And I just want to try to elevate the everyday. That's kind of the thing that gets me worked up. So.
Yeah, and elevating the everyday, you've done that in multiple categories. We talked about EOS, and you took a category that's really kind of a functional, kind of an essential category of lip balm, and you took that kind of sleepy category and you made it into something desirable.
Yeah, there are a couple of insights at work. I mean, I'm full disclosure, I'm several years out of EOS, but when that little sphere was made, I literally sat with some folks around a conference room table and a sculptor, and we made this thing. And I think one of the insights, there were quite a few, but they're very simple. Usually these things, again, are about just being thoughtful. And one of the things I noticed at the time were basically that women were carrying purses that were huge. They were just like a cavern. It was a black hole of stuff. So how could you find anything? And obviously feel is a big sensation that gets overlooked sometimes. So the idea of having this giant purse that you could stick your hand into and just find something was important. But the idea that you could have a thing, this object, that had a fiddle factor, it was fun. It was fun to touch. I cared a lot about the sound it made when it clicked open and close. I cared about the durometer of the soft touch, so it wasn't too soft so that lint and dirt would attract to the outer, but that it would still be soft enough to feel good and give you a little sensation when you played with it. I'm clearly psychotic about this stuff. I am obsessed with these little things, the radius on the indentation, that element that sort of helps define a lot of the visual vocabulary of the brand. I obsessed about all that kind of stuff. I still obsess about all that stuff, even though I'm looking at things all the time, light switches and air conditioning vents and everything. I'm like, everything could be made better and a little bit more beautiful. And I can't without plastic surgery and a lot of time at the gym. So I try to mess with other things.
The consumer world was once static. We then came to understand the role of a brand. In turn, the world has changed. With the foundation of observations, insights, strategy, collaboration, and extraordinary ideas, design serves as the conduit for a brand. Without design, what purposes do these efforts serve?
That attention to detail happens not only in the package design, but in all aspects of your branding. Today you were telling me about the fact that you do your own copywriting?
Yeah, I write the copy. I have lots of people look at it because I'm not the best typer. I make some typos, but yeah, I write the copy. And I'm obsessed with, just every touch point. So the UPCs had to look kind of funky, because why not, right?
Yeah.
I think everything communicates. So if everything communicates and we're able to dictate what's going on with this stuff, why not make it a little more interesting? Or as I like to say, interesting. I don't know if this is going to show up, but even when you open the box, right? This is our brand new whitening toothpaste, and it says "Hello Sunshine." Like everything is touched, right? So even inside it says, greet freely, meet your new squeeze. It's really fun. Just everything communicates, even on the back. So even on the back, right, it says free from dyes, artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, microbeads, triclosan, preservatives, gluten, and peroxide. Brilliant, like you. And it's our whitening toothpaste. It's just a little touch. I don't presuppose for a second that everyone's going to stop and read the back copy, right? We're busy, we're doing other things. And even if they just have this out on their shelf in their bathroom, it just makes you smile. It's fun, it's pretty, doesn't get crinkly, which is kind of neat. But if someone wants to look, there's little touches everywhere, and I think that goes back to this notion of just being thoughtful about everything, and being not just a brand, but being a personality. Like this is a friend. This is something hopefully you can trust, you can interact with, you can enjoy using it. Sure, it tastes great and it works brilliantly, absolutely, because it has to and it should. That's like table stakes, right? It has to be everything we say. But it should do more. Everything else does more, right? Your phone is now your scheduler, is now your camera, is now your video camera, is now your calendar. It's much more than just a phone. So who's to say that this can't be much more? It can't be a little more personal and personable. And that's what I think is what we're after. It's this notion that these categories are called personal care, but I think over time they become impersonal care, because it's about new and improved and gets you 8 shades whiter in 2 minutes or whatever it might be. It's a lot of claim, but not a lot of personal attention to these little bits that I think take the product to a different place. And as people, again, staying away from the consumer word, we write our narratives through our stuff, through these things that help define ourselves. And sometimes it's just for ourselves. Like I don't think anyone's coming into my bathroom looking at my toothpaste. This is for me at a very intimate time of day, right? When I'm starting my day and when I'm ending my day. Each time is very personal and very intimate. So why not make it just a little bit more fun? Maybe it's more fun because the flavor is amazing. Maybe it's more fun because the package makes me smile. Maybe it's more fun because I don't have a crinkly tube anymore at home. I'm not going to fight with which end did you squeeze it from. That kind of stuff is going to go away. So I think it's thinking about all those things and then bring them to life. And I think some people notice, some people don't notice. But I think over time, people start to realize that they didn't like something, they couldn't tell you why, until they see something that they do like. There's a little something special that gets them excited, and then they go, why wasn't it always like that before? Why didn't someone else think about that? And that's what we're looking for. Like I'm always looking for that, just that little bit more. And it's it's fun to keep looking for it.
Yeah, I agree with a little bit more. You took something that maybe there's a little inconvenience that is in a messy toothpaste tube or unattractive toothpaste tube, and you replace it with, instead of having little inconveniences, little moments of delight, which always nice.
Yeah, I think that's what we're supposed to do. So one of my favorite quotes, it's actually from Leonard Cohen, who's a famous singer-songwriter, though some people don't care for his voice so much, but he's really a poet. And there's this great line from a song that says, there's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. So I'm looking for these little cracks. At least to me, they're cracks. Someone else may not notice them, but I'm looking for ways to just sort of get in there and do things with a little bit more, soul, a little bit more attention.
We live in a fast-changing digital world. Dynamic communication and social expression influence just about everything we do. Business is digital. Impact is instant. Brands and customers interact in amazing new ways. From postage stamps to packaging and billboards, HP's Graphic Solutions business is leading these transformations, creating innovative digital print technologies that enable more effective, engaging communication between brands and end users.
And talk about the light coming in, and the light and spreading, the sharing. Personal care, as you said, usually an intimate category, something that people do that is personal, in the sense that it's private. But you have created a product line and a brand, and both current company and past brands. You've created all these products that are shareable, that can take advantage of the new connected society.
Yeah, I think we live out in the open now, whether we want to or not, right? Our pictures are taken a million times a day by devices we don't even know exist. I'm not trying to paint a picture of this bizarre world where there's no privacy or anything. It's just a reality. We do it ourselves, right? We're posting on social media all the time. We want to share, and yet it's interesting to me. Like, I think I have one in my pocket. I usually do. Breath spray. I do. I should have one, right? So, the idea behind things like this used to be you had done something wrong. You had done something you shouldn't have, and you needed to cover it up.
Yes.
And it needed to hide. Instead of making something that can live out in the open and be fun and shareable. Like, I could just say, hey, do you want a hit of this? It's delicious. It's mojito mint. It's really nice. Again, it's not about, I did something I shouldn't have. It is about being open and out in the open. And part of my brief for all these things is they should be pretty enough to display. Because why not? Why should you have to hide something away? You usually have to put it away because it's nasty looking or because it's toxic and you're scared. So if we take those things out, it gives you a whole new canvas to really work with.
And that's kind of the idea behind your holistic product and package design, because not only are your products safe, and they have this focus on being safe and natural and good to use and good for people to use, but you also communicate that right on your packaging.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, we try to do it all over the place. This is our, this is mojito mint, so I'm sticking with the theme, right? I love this color. And all over the pack there are touches. I mean, it has the ADA seal. It's clinically proven to do everything we say. But it's also a little bit about the absence of negatives, right? It's like, what's not in here? Like, what did we choose to put in the product? Again, using words like, I'll read you the copy. It says, we've thoughtfully formulated Hello with high quality ingredients like xylitol, stevia, and a silica blend that gently brightens teeth. We're serious about being friendly and about what goes into our paste. Learn more and smile more. And there's our URL. And if you come to our website, you literally can Skype with me from the website. I mean, there's a button and you push it and it doesn't go into the ether. It comes like my phone will go off or my iPad will go off or my laptop will go off or my desktop will go off, and it's really me. And I really do pick up. And I've been very fortunate to do some interesting speaking gigs, and the last slide for me usually is just my cell phone. I tell people call, and it's really me, and they can't believe it. It's like, what's not to believe? Like, why wouldn't we be reachable? We're serious about being friendly. You can't say you're this company called Hello and that you're friendly and then not be reachable. And that's just disingenuous. So we're trying to, I don't think we're actually trying. I think trying makes it sound forced. What we care about really is making stuff people can fall in love with, and fall in love with it for the right reasons. And if you want, your teeth white and shiny and bright, well, all of our toothpaste does a very nice job. And we have all sorts of clinical data that'll tell you all that. If you want a little bit more focus on a little bit more whitening, we got that too. We're not anti that. We don't want to give people things they want. We just want to make sure we do it in a way that's as natural as we can make it. It's not to say that we're a wholly natural company. I think green is the new beige. I think if you could start from scratch, and we were able to start from scratch, why wouldn't you make it as natural as you could make it? It's like if you were crazy enough to start a car company today, why wouldn't you make a company that bases their car and their technology on electricity versus a combustion engine that uses petrochemicals? Like, why wouldn't you push it? So why wouldn't we think about taking out things like triclosan and microbeads and dyes and saccharin, artificial sweeteners like saccharin? That stuff was removed from diet sodas like 30 years ago. How the hell that ended up in toothpaste and mouthwash is completely mind-blowing to me. But I don't want to talk really about what other people are using because there's no real point. I mean, we're just trying to have a different type of conversation with people. It's not that any of those products are wrong or bad, or it's not about that. It's just about us telling a different kind of story, allowing people who use our products to have a great experience and tell their own story the way they want to. And if they want to display these things because it makes them happy, I mean, you know, I'm putting stuff down to show you, but I mean, this is, you know, same thing. You open up Hello Gorgeous, it just makes you smile, right? You're going to throw this box away. Ours you can recycle because it's FSC certified paper and soy-based ink, so recycle the box. And then you have this beautiful, happy thing that greets you every morning and at night before you go to sleep, and it tastes awesome.
Yes.
Like, why not? Like, why? Again, like, I think good design leads you to a place where you ask these questions. You go, why wasn't it like that before? And we have this clean slate, so we can, you know, do things a little bit differently. And we have no layers and no legacy in the company, really. You know, we're very small. We're entrepreneurs, so we can try things very quickly. And I think that's a real advantage for us.
Yeah, it's a real advantage, but it's also a challenge. You know, everyone talks about brand language and creating a brand language and how difficult it is to create the brand language that will survive and also, you know, evolve or even start off from the beginning. And you've evolved your packaging, but you've kept the same kind of brand feel.
Yeah, that was, it was important to us. I think in terms of continuity and consistency and simplicity of brand voice, again, we're very fortunate to be entrepreneurial, and, you know, at the risk of sounding really jerky about it, I'm writing the copy, so I don't have to give it to a copywriter, then has to give it to another copywriter, then has to give it to a brand manager, then has to go to another senior brand manager, and it has to be compared to a brand Bible that might have been written, you know, 20 years ago, and see if it measures up. Like, we don't have any legacy. And everyone at our small company embraces these same ideals. You know, we're very fortunate in that we have an amazing team. I have an amazing team. I am so lucky. And my job is kind of easy. You know, I have to try to magnetize the business so that the coolest, smartest people can do the coolest, smartest work and just like let them go. So because we're sort of really at a point where we can finish each other's sentences, the handoff is really smooth. The way things get from idea to execution is really, really fast, really fast. And the brand voice doesn't get lost because it's not getting passed. It's not like a bad game of telephone where it gets passed through 80 different hands and at the end you hear something completely different. So we're really fortunate, and we're not relying again on a brand book that was written by somebody else or a creative group that's external to the company that's writing stuff. It's not to say that we won't work with creative partners. We love creative partners. We love partners. We love friends. We don't consider them anything other than friends. Sometimes the best ideas come from outside, for sure. You get inspiration from outside, but that's stuff that we do too. We go out and we look at things. We share stuff all the time with each other. And you know, I don't think wasting time is in our world.
Even in this new redesign with the outer cartons, they're so different from what's inside, but yet they're consistent with the brand personality.
Well, we tried, like, here's another brand new one. I'll take this one out. It's our new kids flavor. It's a watermelon. And this one's also fluoride free and SLS free, and anyone could, you know, I mean, adults can use this too, obviously, but the idea was to sort of marry the pop of color and the fun with this, you know, craft look. It's very approachable, but it's different for the category where things are sometimes highly metallic or relying, at least in the kids product, on cartoon characters. I have 2 kids. My kids are characters. I don't need to bring another set of characters into their life and put it on their toothpaste. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, I feel like I'm backpedaling. It's all fine. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll have cartoon characters. But our cartoon characters, I think, will be a little bit different. But for now, I think kids are characters, and I think that mom wants something that's just a little, you know, a little simple, a little bit easy. And the big insight, and I'm being a little facetious about that, because, you know, we're not using third parties to do quantifiable research on insights, right? The insight behind kids was really pretty straightforward. Most parents that I speak with, and I've gone through this as well, my kids are a little older now, it's a fight at brush time. So the big insight was, what if it tasted so awesome that your kids actually wanted to use it, and was so, you know, as natural as we could make it, and as delicious as they want it, and as effective as it needs to be, that the fight would go away. So basically, I wrote this copy that was they'll rush to brush without all the fuss. So now as we mature, we are doing some testing. We're trying to figure things out that are outside of our purview a little bit to see if we're basically living inside of our own heads a little. And the data that we're getting back is so exciting and so reassuring, because we're getting things like so we launched our kids' toothpaste initially at one major retailer. Now it's spreading out to a whole bunch of major retailers. And when we first launched it, we got some amazing and very encouraging research that we had, after 19 weeks, the highest repeat rate toothpaste in kids of any kids' toothpaste.
Amazing.
And we were blown away, because we're not advertising or marketing. It's just kind of happening. People are writing us love letters and posting videos and things like that. It's really exciting. So, we have a long way to go, but it feels like we're onto some good tracks here.
And Craig, you were telling me this watermelon toothpaste is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, it's our new kids watermelon. It has no fluoride and no SLS in it, so kids of all ages could use it because it's ingestible. You could eat it. You gotta just try some out, test it out.
It smells like a fresh slice of watermelon.
Yeah, it's awesome. Olfactory recall, really powerful.
Yeah, totally multi-sensory package and product design, and having it all kind of come together. That's good.
Awesome, right?
That is really good. I definitely would look forward to brushing with this. In fact, didn't you get some traction on social media from someone else who just absolutely loved that flavor?
Yeah, we're getting, it's really incredible if we get love letters. We get love letters. And people write us, or they videotape. Like, we had someone who actually just sent us a video, and he had, I think, bubblegum and blue raspberry. And he was an adult, and he just said, I don't like mint, I don't care for mint, and I bought these toothpaste. And he made this whole video just going on and on and on about how delicious these are. And we, of course, made a video and sent it back to him, which that then freaked him out, that we actually saw his video in the first place, and that we made a video and sent it back to him. But that's what you do. Like, I don't know this guy from Adam, and he went out of his way and made a video, and he didn't send it to me. Like, I'm crazy. So I wake up really early, and I go to sleep really late, and I scour, and I look to see, is anyone thinking about us, talking about us, good, bad, ugly, anything. We're really lucky. We get a lot of love. So this guy posts this video, and we went into the office and we made a video and sent it back to him. And now we're just going back and forth. So if you go to YouTube, you could see it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was
just a normal guy.
Santa? What was his name?
Eudaimonius, I think it is. So I'll have to spell it out for you. But it's the guy's unbelievable. I'll send you a link.
That's great.
But we get tons of these things. People just write in our Instagram feed. We have about 18,000 plus people that follow us on Instagram. I mean, who follows your oral care company? But they do. And I think part of the magic is we just keep putting stuff out there. I respond to people all the time, every day. Like, it's not a agency in the middle of who knows where that's just writing some canned stuff. It's really us. So it either comes from Hello CEO, which is me, or from Hello Products, which sometimes is me, and usually I write if it's me at the end, or we have an internal person who, she's on our team. She's physically, like, this is all she does. And we just try to do random interesting things just to see where things will go. And typically it's a response more than it is a proactive thing. It's usually just someone has sent us something and we write back. It's really fun. We're very lucky.
The problem that brands often have, newer brands, like, how do we track the attention of the purchaser, the buyer at the retail level?
And I think part of it is, for us, is an attract mechanism is hopefully something like this, hopefully something like this that they haven't seen before, and they go, well, wow, what's that? A long time ago, a senior statesperson in the CPG world told me, another brand I have some history with, that I should put a big violator across it and write new. And I remember saying that if it's really new, I don't really have to do that. Someone should stop and go, what's that? I've never seen that before. then it's new. If I have to, it's like right out of Shakespeare, right? If I, thou dost protest too much. If I have to slam the word new and put a starburst or a violator, the fact that it's called a violator, oh, it's scary. It's like it's violating. Like it's never good to be violated. To me, that just is a sign that what you're putting out there isn't really all that new. So my hope is this is an attract mechanism. People go, wow, what's that? And it's got really fun stuff. It says no peroxide, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives, no brainer. That's the way real people talk. That's the way real people I know really speak. They don't speak in sound bites. They don't speak in, paid spokesperson snippets. They speak like real people speak. So this is coming from, some real people or a real person, and we want that to come through. And my hope is that connects with people if they find it. But again, there are these little delight points everywhere they look. And then at the end of the day, they have this pretty thing that sits out, and they get to enjoy it every day. And I think that should be very satisfying, I hope, for most folks. I think that they're going to find it, and then they're going to fall in love with all these little things we spent a lot of time thinking about. A long time ago, if you were a new brand, a transformational brand, a startup, an entrepreneurial endeavor, whatever it was, a buyer was almost a little scared. Not that they're scared, maybe that's the wrong word, but reluctant, hesitant is probably a better word, to take on anything new, because they knew that they had a finite amount of space. They knew what the category was doing, what was important. They knew how much money the bigger company might be spending on marketing and advertising. And again, there were a fewer number of channels back in the day to spend that money against. And the risk in taking on something new was very apparent and very real. And I think I personally owe a huge debt of gratitude to Method, because I think Method helped teach a lot of retail buyers that the bigger risk isn't in taking something new, it's in not taking something new. Because there's a new set of sensibilities that today's consuming populace, people, seem to care about. And there are new ways to get the message out. And it's not about outspending, it's about out-mattering.
You're a small person company in the fact that you have 10 people. But in the sense of your retail distribution, you're no longer a small company, are you? A small player.
Yeah, we're in Boots in the UK now. We're in Superdrug in the UK. We've been in Colette in Paris, which is a very cool store. Probably the coolest single store in the world, I would imagine. We're in Kitson in LA. I mean, just a whole different group of stores. Ulta has been a wonderful partner for us as well, growing with Ulta. And we've had inbounds now from 70 countries around the world asking us for product. And I say countries, I mean significant established distributors and very large retail partners. Pick a country, it's just been incredible. The other big news is we're about to launch with the biggest professional distributor of oral care products, Henry Schein, which is the biggest single distributor, I believe, in the world of oral care products to dentists and hygienists. So we should be launching with them very shortly too. So there's a lot of interest in the brand and the proposition, and this idea of bringing naturally friendly products to a category that hasn't really seen a whole lot of that before. So we're very lucky and working really hard.
So very lucky seems to imply that a lot of this attention that you're getting is coming to you versus you seeking it.
It's probably a little bit of both, but the inbound stuff from all over the world, that's every day it just comes in. I check my email every day and there's another one. This morning it was a distributor in France. Every day, every single day.
And on the subject of evolving your brand, so you've had all the success, you're getting all this attention from retail buyers. Some people would say, leave it alone. It's working, leave it alone. Don't break what's, definitely not broken. But you went ahead and decided to take on a risk and actually update your outer counter.
Yeah. For me, I have really little to no fear of failure. I have fear of not trying and not listening, and listening to people that are telling you what they like about your stuff, and listening to yourself and listening to your team. And we felt like our pack when we made the change from our first toothpaste to our second toothpaste, we never had a box on our first toothpaste. We had very little claims. We had very little copy because the back was filled up with a monograph and the front just said hello and toothpaste, and people were confused because it was so different. People thought it was a hand lotion. No one could tell what it was. It was getting toted around individual stores and getting scuffed up. So we knew, we're like, okay, this is a little too precious. We have to make a change. So we tend to go from concept to fully commercialized product in, like when we first launched, it was 6 months. We went from concept to on the shelf in 6 months. And let me just reiterate how crazy and compressed that timeline is, but add into it that we had a fully FDA compliant monograph product. Like this was, this is pretty hardcore. You're putting this stuff in your mouth. So we did all that in 6 months. Now we've gotten maybe even a little better. So we've trimmed that down a little bit. And we work very closely with our partners, manufacturing partners and suppliers and vendors. And I basically say to them, if you have anything new, anything interesting, anything that you're looking for a guinea pig to try out, we should be your first call. Because again, like I said, we have no layers and no legacy. Like my phone is buzzing. It's probably a supplier, vendor, partner calling me right now saying, we have something really cool. So we want to do things that are different. So we have no problem moving things really, really quickly from concept to reality, and we'll make changes really fast. So if we see something we don't like, or if we get some feedback, we live in a real-time world. I like to joke around that for us, it's life in beta. It's never done. We're never done. We're never like, oh yeah, we're locked and loaded, it's done. No, we did it. Life doesn't work that way, right? We're never done. We're never done seeing, experiencing, and changing ourselves, right? So our personalities might be set. We think our brand personality is set, but what we can do with it and where we could go and how we could evolve it, it's like sky's the limit. So if we feel that there's something interesting that we like, or culturally it feels like things have shifted, and we can be, authentic and fast, that's what we're about. It has to be authentic. It can't be BS, because everyone has a BS meter and they know, right? It's just too easy. You can't just say, oh, I now have a product that's, naturally friendly because, I use the color green. I'm just making stuff up, right? People will call BS on that really fast, and we would call BS on that really fast. So it has to feel right, but we've gotten really, really comfortable with change. I think, like I said before, the most powerful word in the English language is new, and if you have to write that it's new, it's not so new. So we really want to do new, and we're going to keep doing that and keep pushing it. And we have a whole bunch of new things that we've got slated for the next several months. I mean, we're just getting started, so we're really excited about what's to come. There are categories to look at differently. There's certainly a whole lot in oral care that we're focused on, things that hopefully improve the ritual quite a bit. And again, we're just getting started. So expect over the next several months to see a bunch more stuff from us.
Could you share anything about some of the
No,
categories?
we want to surprise people. Surprise and delight, absolutely. But there are categories, there are certainly adjacencies that we're looking at, because they're all part of the ritual. Any personal, intimate time with you and your sink is certainly fair game, and we think there are things outside of the bathroom that make sense for us too. So, anything around fresh, fun, friendly, natural, fair game, and we've got a lot in the hopper. I drive some people crazy because I think we probably have about 10 years of NPD already done, but for me it's like a year's worth of NPD, because it's like dog years, right? So I have to, I want to make it really fast because I see it and I'm like, why are we doing this? We got to do this. So, but we have a ton. We have a ton. I never stop sketching. I never stop writing copy. We never stop because we love it. It's fun.
Not only your packaging, you're evolving the product with the flavors.
Yes, formulations as well. So we listen. People told us, really love your stuff, really love what you stand for, really don't like fluoride. And like I said before, we don't judge. We're not trying to be a judgmental company. For people who don't like fluoride, they're out there, and I respect that, and no problem. You want a product with no fluoride? Done. We'll make your product with no fluoride. But it has to meet all the other criteria we care about. So it has to be safe, absolutely. It has to be effective, absolutely. We have to find great ingredients that we're comfortable putting in the product? Absolutely. Our ingredient suppliers have to adhere to things that we think are important around animal testing. All of our products are vegan. They're all cruelty-free. In fact, another brand new bit of information, we've been Leaping Bunny certified, which we're very proud of. It means every ingredient supplier we work with has to verify that they don't test on animals. It's not just us at the end saying, oh, we don't know what happened before. We don't test our finished product. But our whole supply chain is cruelty-free. So, and Leaping Bunny is sort of the important gold seal standard for animal testing. And to layer on top of that and to add to it and build on it, we're also very excited to be now officially PETA certified as well. So PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. So in terms of our cruelty-free stance, we're on rock solid ground. That's very important to us. But we made sure with some of these new formulations, again, that they met people where they wanted to be met. So there are people who want whitening and they want fluoride. No problem. We use a super high grade of really gentle silica. It's fabulous. It works. It's extra whitening. It'll do what you want it to do, but without peroxide, because we think peroxide has some other side effects that we don't really care for. We have new kids toothpaste also for little kids, because little kids tend to swallow toothpaste. And anything with fluoride you shouldn't swallow a whole lot of. Really, you shouldn't swallow any, but sometimes there might be a little residual as you're brushing your teeth. And that's perfectly safe. But there are some folks who don't want any fluoride in their kids' toothpaste. No problem. And now we have our new watermelon kids toothpaste. It's safe for kids of all ages. It's safe for adults, obviously, too. We have a lot of adults who are saying, I love this toothpaste, I just want to use this. But I guess the point is we listen. So we won't just change the box because it's a visual that we think is a good attract mechanism. It has to be, well, what else can we do with it? So if we make a fluoride-free, SLS-free adult toothpaste, why can't we list out what all the ingredients are there for? Why can't we do that? Why can't we have an FSC certified box and use soy-based inks? Because we can. But why not make it look beautiful and legible and still have the pop? Because people want to see it. They want to feel good about it. So we're, again, trying to be as thoughtful as we can be and focus on this lack of compromise. That you can have a pop of color but still have something that evokes a sense of, and a sensibility of being a little more attuned to the natural side of things, but not in a way where it's going to be off-putting for the larger group of folks. So it's a balance.
Definitely, and you talk about the need for all companies to try to be as natural as possible in their products, and it's really is in tune to the fact that it's not just the granola crowd.
No, this is now. I mean, you can go find vegetarians and pescatarians everywhere. And the fact that McDonald's has salad should tell people something. Like this isn't a trend. Like trends tend to come and go. This is, I think, the new reality. People are reading labels. People care about where things come from and how they're made. Our products are all made in America. We have BPA-free tubes. Like people actually want to know about this stuff. They're reading labels about just about everything else. So I feel, again, transparency is the new black. You can call me, you can Skype with me. Here's my cell phone number, 917-392-1000. It's a nice, easy one to remember. Like, you have a question, call me up. There are no bad questions, just bad answers. And we're happy to answer anything. And by the way, if we don't have it right, because, we might not get it right, we're going to fix it really fast.
And you're talking about how different people want different things. And I often think of my family and how my nieces and nephews have changed my perspective on a lot of markets. And how has being a father and a husband changed the way that you do business?
Oh, wow. Well, I get so much input from my family that I love, even the bad stuff, because they have no problem telling me that they like or don't like anything. Because, it's just me. It's like, it's dad again with this other crazy flavor, this other crazy tube. Try this tube, it doesn't crinkle, And my kids will be like, that's really great. Or they'll say, Dad, that flavor's too weak for me. I want it to be stronger. Or that's too strong. Or I don't like the way the cap opens. Can you fix the cap? And I'm like, bring it. So I love it. I'm very lucky to have incredibly honest kids. I'm sure all kids are they just put it out there. And I joke around a lot that my wife is a clinical psychologist.
It's interesting that you mentioned that your wife is a clinical psychologist, because having that kind of emotional connection to your consumers, but also having this emotional connection to your team.
Oh, it's critical. You have to be really self-aware. One of the things I've learned really through my wife is to put a little bit of a lens on yourself. And what I know as you get a little bit older and a little bit more comfortable with things is I know what I'm so not good at. The list of what I'm not good at is so long. The list of what I'm okay at is very short. So as you get older and you get a little bit more self-aware, especially having a psychologically minded spouse, I have no problem calling myself out constantly, and luckily surrounding myself with an amazing team. I mean, I can't say enough. I have this incredible team, and we can call BS on each other, and it's all good. No one, there's no perch. No one's like, well, that's, I'm the whatever at this company, and you can't talk that way. There's none of that. There's absolutely none of that. There shouldn't be. We're way too small to have politics. We have a real tight bond. So because of that, and the tight bond, the bond gets tighter when you can let go. It's like the more you can let go and admit that there are things you can't do, the stronger everyone becomes. Because if you're in it to win it, you pick up the slack from one another, you pick up on that energy, and basically you fill in the gaps. And I think as I get older, I get a little bit more realistic about where my many gaps are, and I'm figuring out the best way to work with other people, outside partners, inside partners, to get the best stuff out of everybody for this common good. And that I'm very lucky, and I think I learned a lot about that from my wife, I have to say, and the team. So I'm lucky.
So you evolved your packaging, you evolved your product, and you're getting ready to evolve your company in a very intrinsic way.
Yeah, we're very lucky. We've now brought on board our first CMO. It stands for actually a couple of things. Chief Marketing Officer, yes, but he's also our Chief Culture Officer, because we really think culture, this idea of soul, is really, really important and intrinsic to everything we do, because everything we do has to be thoughtful and fun and very much about sort of what we're about. So how do we in a sense make sure that everything we do touches upon all these things that we feel really important? So we brought someone in to help us evolve the brand, yes, but also evolve the way we work with one another, because we think that's just as important. And as we work together a certain way, that helps create more interesting products that go out in the world in a more interesting way. We also have a president named Lori Keene-Kocher, who's got great experience as well in CPG and brand. She was the global co-lead of McKinsey's consumer practice. At one point, she was running marketing at one point for J&J for their global brands. She was a CMO of Godiva. She's done a lot of fantastic things with a lot of brands, and sits on some interesting boards as well in the personal care space. She's terrific. Our head of sales, Kim Sines, unbelievable. She used to run sales for the Northeast for Unilever. Incredible history as well with Pfizer and J&J and L'Oreal. So we have some really incredible folks. I don't mean to just single those folks out, but the whole team is great. The other thing I'm really proud of is that we have a mix of men and women. I think when I think about the company, I think we're evenly split. My president's a woman, my head of sales is a woman. I say our head of sales. It's important, and I don't really think about it. I think this is the new normal, the new reality, and again, I go back to the way things I think always should have been.
I have to point out that is unusual, because even though we would like to say that that's the way it should always be, we are having a panel at our conference that's just talking about so much of the fact that there are so few women in leadership roles in the CPG world, despite the fact that women tend to buy more of the products and make more of the shopping decisions. It's just not, it's nowhere near parity, so definitely congratulations there.
Yeah, thanks. It wasn't an effort. It wasn't a decision. It's something I'm excited about and proud to share, because I think it's the reality. It's a new. I hope it becomes the new normal.
What is your proudest accomplishment throughout your career?
Wow. Proudest accomplishment throughout my career. Um, you know, just off the cuff, really, not holding back anything. Something like this is amazing to me, because to be here and to be asked questions like this, and to have anyone even remotely interested in anything I have to say.
And your proudest accomplishment in your personal life?
Oh, totally, wife and kids. I mean, I totally married up. My wife is awesome, just amazing. I mean, just brilliant and just brilliant. She can look at anything and make it better. And she's just incredible, supportive, warm, generous, completely different than I am in terms of my obsession with packaging and product and art and design. She appreciates it, but she's like of a different world. She's an academic, and she's pure. She's just pure. And she grew up all over the world, and she speaks 5 languages, and she's, you know, she's amazing. And she's gorgeous, inside and out. She's amazing. And then our kids, because our kids are incredible. So hi, Julie, and hi, Olivia. And so yeah, I'm the most proud of them. They're amazing. And they're going to do a lot of really great things in the world. I can't wait. I can't wait. Have you ever seen that show, Cash Cab? I hailed a cab. And I get in the cab, and I was with someone who was on crutches, and we had an appointment, and I thought, well, I'm going to get that cab. I'm going to run out in the street and get that cab, because that cab's a van, and it'll be easy for her to get into the van with her crutches. So I run into the street. This is on, actually I can tell you where this was. It was on 6th Avenue and like 24th Street in New York City. And I grab this cab, and the guy comes over to pick up my friend on the crutches, and we say where we're going, and the lights in the ceiling start flying all over the place. And the guy's like, "It's Cash Cab! You're on Cash Cab!" And I'm like, what the? Cash Cab? I have no idea what Cash Cab is. And it's this television, it's a game show, and it's a show, it's a real show. So I was on Cash Cab, and I won't give you all the ins and outs of how it works, but basically you say where you're going first, and then the lights go on, it's Cash Cab, and off you go. They ask you a bunch of questions along the way. And you get like a lifeline, and they're little cute things, and they ask you questions, and ultimately the game's over when you get to your destination, or if you get 3 things wrong, they just kick you out. And we got to our destination, and then we got to like, well, do you want to like risk it all and get, you know, whatever the big bonus round was? And I'm like, no, I'm already late for my appointment, and I just won $850. I'll take the free ride, $850. I gotta go. So we didn't play the bonus round, but anyway, we were a winner on Cash Cab.
Awesome.
And what's really funny is, and this was years ago, I randomly get Facebook posts about people like, I saw you on Cash Cab. Are you the guy on Cash Cab? You're on Cash Cab? Like, I had not even heard of Cash Cab. But anyway, it was just kind of funny. So there you go, I was a winner on Cash Cab. And if you're looking for anything else, I spent a day as a fighter pilot with a friend of mine flying T-34 trainer planes, and you go up to about 10,000 feet, and you face off, and then you have laser sights, and you dogfight with one another. And I did that for a guy who's in the friendly business and doesn't fight. I just want to say I did not want to do that. It was not my idea. Someone sent my friend this as a gift, and the day of the event, the person she was supposed to dogfight against had to bow out, and they said, well, she needs someone to fight against. You can't just fight against the real pilot in this plane, like you have to do it, and I'm not a pilot. But I said, okay. And I signed my life away, and I flew a plane with a guy behind me, and was dogfighting with my friend at 10,000 feet. So yeah, you got to take chances.
No prior flying experience.
No, you just have to basically sign your life away. If you're willing to sign your life away, you too can get in the plane with a pilot. You have a pilot behind you, but they literally say, unless I tell you I'm flying the plane, you have the stick. You are flying the plane. So you're pulling 6 Gs. You're doing flips and aileron rolls and things. And I got out of the plane safely on the ground, no parachutes required, and I did kiss the ground, and it was really fun. So yeah, you got to take some chances, I guess. Have some fun.
Well, I am so looking forward to see where your risk-taking takes you next.
Me too. Stand by. It's gonna be fun. It'll be friendly, and it'll be naturally friendly. So thank you. Thanks for having me. It was a real treat for me.